Hi everyone, welcome back. This is going to be the last video on the basics of acid-base disorders, and here we are going to talk about respiratory disorders. Okay, now let's talk about respiratory acidosis. In case of respiratory acidosis, before we even go into the compensatory response, it's important to understand the time frame. If the primary insult was within the past 2 days, the respiratory acidosis is acute. If it's around 2 to 5 days, then it's chronic. In case of an acute respiratory acidosis, the compensatory response is intracellular buffer. In case of chronic respiratory acidosis, the compensatory response is metabolic or using the kidneys. Now, the predicted bicarb, for the calculation for predicted bicarb is using this formula in case of acute respiratory acidosis, and in case of chronic we use this formula. So we see that this part PaCO2 minus 40 upon 10 and PaCO2 minus 40 upon 10 remains the same. Also 24 here is same. The only difference is this 4 part, which is present in case of chronic and which is not present in case of acute. Respiratory alkalosis, same story. So time frame, if it's less than 2 days, it is called acute. 2 to 5 days it's chronic. Intracellular buffer is the compensatory response in case of acute, metabolic in case of chronic. Again, the formula pretty much remains the same except these 2 digits over here. So 2 and 5. So remember, it was like 1 and 4 in acute and chronic respiratory acidosis respectively, and 2 and 5 in acute and chronic respiratory alkalosis respectively. Again, this part remains the same in all 4 cases. Now, if in case of either respiratory acidosis or alkalosis, any of these disorders, if the bicarb is approximately near the predicted, and how do we calculate the predicted? It's this formula, right? If bicarb is approximately near this predicted range, then it's a simple disorder is present. If it's not within this range or near that value, then there is a mixed acid-base disorder present, just like the case in metabolic disorders. Now, in case of mixed metabolic disorders, remember the primary disorder in this case is respiratory, which means change in CO2. So the compensation is going to be a change in bicarb. And if predicted bicarb is more than range, then it's going to be metabolic alkalosis. Why? Because bicarb is basic, and if there is more bicarb, then it's going to be alkalosis, so metabolic alkalosis. And if the bicarb is less than predicted, and that means there's additional metabolic acidosis present. Just to remember what are the values for each compensation in case of respiratory disorders. So as we talked about it, this part of the formula is common. So 24 is common and this part is common, right? We already talked about it. Now we just need to remember the different values of X. So here the one in red is acidosis and the one in blue is alkalosis. So if we make a table like this and write acute and chronic respectively over here, then all we need to remember is 1, 2, 4, 5. So there is no 3 but 1, 2, 4, 5. So we can quickly make this table and just remember just recall what the values were. Now the only thing to remember is that the column and row should be proper or should be correct, right? So and we can remember that there is this color coding where columns are the same color, and that way we will be able to remember the rows and columns properly. Now we already talked about a couple of scenarios where there was a mixed acid-base disorder, right? And mixed acid-base disorder is basically a combination of primary disorders. It's not a primary disorder with compensation. And what I mean to say with this is, we talked about, for example, take any primary disorder. In case of metabolic acidosis, there is the compensatory response is going to be decrease in PaCO2. So technically we cannot say that this decrease in PaCO2 is respiratory alkalosis. Those are two different things, right? If the decrease in PaCO2 was merely a response to the primary disorder, that is metabolic acidosis. So all the compensatory values, we should not regard those as primary disorders. Now mixed acid base disorder could be double or triple. Like it could be like metabolic acidosis plus respiratory acidosis plus metabolic alkalosis. The only caveat in this is that both respiratory acidosis and alkalosis cannot be present at the same time, because like carbon dioxide can never be both over and under excreted by lungs at the same time, right? Now in case of metabolic disorders, this is different, and metabolic acidosis and metabolic alkalosis can coexist. What this means is that a mixed acid base disorder can be triple but never quadruple, because remember respiratory acidosis and respiratory alkalosis cannot coexist. There are some additional clues that can tell us what the primary disorder is. So if there is high anion gap, now we'll talk about what anion gap and things like these are in subsequent videos, but if there is high anion gap, then it strongly suggests that it is metabolic acidosis. If there is hypokalemia and or hypocholeremia, which means decrease in chloride, then it suggests metabolic alkalosis. Hypercholeremia, increase in chloride, is common with normal anion gap acidosis. Elevated creatinine and urea, it suggests uremic acidosis or hypovolemia. And if there's only the increase is only in creatinine and not in urea, so here there was urea and creatinine, here it's just creatinine, then it could be ketoacidosis. Just because the ketones can interfere with the laboratory method, it's known as Schaff reaction, which is used for creatinine measurement, and give a falsely elevated result, and typically urea will be normal. These are just additional clues which we can use to determine, to like predict what would be the primary acid base disorder, but these are just hints. We cannot use it to determine what the disorders are. These are the references, and thank you so much for seeing this video, and you can leave your questions and feedback in the comment section below.